Hello my loves, I'm Ellie Frost. Thank you so much for being on my channel where we are talking about the multi-dimensional approach to rapidly and radically healing and transforming during and after narcissistic abuse. And this video is about the fake caring of the narcissist, right? And statements that manipulators use, right, to basically guilt, shame and control you. Now I have to give you a little bit of a disclaimer before I make this video, because some of these statements will be said by genuine people who genuinely care. If you saw my video from yesterday, it's all about the thing you need to know far more than whether someone is a diagnosed narcissist or not, right? And I go into that in that video and a lot of my work about the energy of things, right? Because people can say things, and gaslighters, manipulators, people who are designed literally or trying to like distort your reality in some way, your perception of reality, will play on your emotions, and it won't, they might say a statement that on the face of it seems kind, seems like they care, but you'll feel the energy behind it more. Right? And that's why I teach you to be in your body, self-partnered, self-focused, aware of the energy, the intention behind something. So let's get into this, because I teach this in my sovereign group a lot, but like this is so important. Now, one of the things a narcissist will often do is ask you if you're okay, right? But they'll do it in a way that makes you doubt that you're okay, right? Makes you think you're crazy. Why? Because if you can't trust yourself and you can't trust your perception of reality, then you can't trust what you're really seeing about the narcissist. So all this stuff about, are you okay? Like, but you know it's not coming from a caring place. What's the energy behind it? Listen, guys, don't be afraid to ask people what their intentions are behind statements. That could look like, are you okay? Why are you asking me that? Right? Don't be afraid to meet a question with a question, because as soon as they say, are you okay, from an energy that's trying to make you think there's something wrong with you, you start doubting yourself, feeling insecure, wondering if you're standing out in some way and not acting okay, right? Understand the energy behind their words. Another one that they use a lot, and again, I'm not saying that some people won't use this and genuinely care about you. Some people will. So you've got to be mindful. A lot of the time they'll tell you how worried they are about you. I worry about you, right? It makes you feel like you're a disaster, that you're something to be really concerned about. Now, again, some people may say, I'm really worried about you, but I'm telling you this for sure, right? Someone that genuinely cares about you won't just try and make you feel like you're this disaster that they have to worry about, right? They'll say, what can I do to help? Is there anything you need? That's what a healthy person that's actually genuinely worried about you will do. They won't just plant fear or doubt in your mind with, I'm really worried about you. Because what does that do other than give a chain reaction of even more anxiety in most people you say it to? But a healthy person that genuinely cares will be, is there anything I can do to help? What can I do? You'll know. You'll know from the energy they say it in, whether they're actually trying to worry you about yourself and make you think that there's something much more wrong with you than what you're experiencing, right? How are they saying it? What's the energy you can feel behind it? And are they saying, is there anything else I can do to help? Manipulators, if they do try and help, bet your bottom dollar they're going to use it against you. I've heard this. Oh, no one else would do this for you. Yeah? You know, I hope you appreciate this. They'll remind you of how great they are, when actually they're doing something that a normal human being would do. Pretty much half the time, right? So if they guilt you, if they do say they're worried about you, they do try and help, but there's a whole guilt trip that comes with it. You're with them, not at very least a manipulator. If you express a need or a concern, or, you know, they've done something, but, you know, it hasn't quite met your needs, and you express that, like, you know, you appreciate it, but you just say what your experience of that thing is. Let me try and give an example. Like, say they take you for lunch. Let's just use that. And you said something like, yeah, I did enjoy lunch. It was nice spending time with you. The food wasn't that great, though. They'll say something like, oh, I'm sorry, it's not good enough for you. There'll be some kind of shaming in it, right? Where actually with healthy people, you can say, look, I loved going to lunch with you. We had a really good time spending time. The food I did, I wasn't so keen on the food, and it wouldn't be taken so personally as a direct attack on them. And they wouldn't need to shame you out of it and guilt trip you in that you should be so grateful for the honour that they did anything for you. And now you're shamed for having a genuine opinion that wasn't directed at them. You weren't trying to say it's your fault the food wasn't as good as I had hoped. You know, like, you don't get to express yourself at all. You don't get to have an opinion or have your needs met without them taking it as a complete attack. And now you're somehow shamed for not being grateful enough because they did something for you. You're allowed to say, I loved going to lunch with you and spending time. I must say, I didn't think the food was that good. You're allowed to say that without them saying, sorry, it's not good enough for you, or somehow shaming you. Oh, I won't bother. And then there's another one they do. I won't bother next time. Right? You weren't saying there's anything wrong with them. You appreciated the lunch. That kind of thing. So I want you to be aware of your emotional response to things, right? Because narcissists, toxic people, they'll spoil everything. They create in you. They try and create in you, by the way. The more you work with me, the less, and listen to this stuff, the less they'll be, the more bulletproof you'll become to it. But if they're generating feelings of shame, guilt, jealousy, insecurity, anxiety, really understand that person often is trying to manipulate you and control you in some way, because healthy people that actually have your best interests at heart very rarely generate those emotions in you, or try to. It's not directly because of what they do. You might feel anxious because you just met someone, and you might be anxious and you hope that it goes well. That's different to they create an instability in you, right? Because you end up walking on eggshells around these people, because you can't say how you really feel, because it's going to be literally like a bullet shot back at you. You're allowed to have your opinion. You're not trying to personally attack them, right? But like, what this does is push you into submission, and they'll also, this is another thing with narcissism, manipulators, goodness me, will they overinflate themselves. Whatever they do for you, you'll know about it. They'll go on and on about it. People who are genuinely kind and do kind things for other people don't normally tell those people how grateful they should be and how no one else would do it for them. And, like what a star they are. Yeah? What a superhero they are to do this for you. Yeah? That's all really what people who are trying to manipulate you to. Because people that care about you, guess what? There'd be more than... They would appreciate the blessing of being able to give. There's people in my life that I've cared about, and I've appreciated the opportunity to be helpful to them. I've appreciated the opportunity to care for my animals, to care for the people I care for. I see it as a two-way thing. It's not just they're in need and it doesn't benefit me to help them. It does. Giving is a beautiful blessing, actually, I believe. Like, we get the opportunity when it's aligned with us. It's not, don't give when you're not in a position to give. I teach this all the time. If you can't give freely, then you're not in a position to give. If it needs to be transactional, there's nothing wrong with that. Say, I'm going to help you, but I expect this back. That's totally fine in this world. But we also get the opportunity to be generous. One of the most beautiful qualities is our ability to be generous and to be kind. But if that's not done purely, and there's some kind of obligation or ick around it, you're dealing with a manipulator. Get out. Don't tolerate it. You don't have to feel like a burden. Most of us here have been taught to feel like a burden for existing, a burden for having basic human needs in the relationship dynamics we're in. That ends here. If you can join Sovereign, do. Please continue to like, comment, share, subscribe, and let me know what you'd like me to talk about. Lots of love, guys. I'll speak to you soon.